Hi there, here's Danny from E-SickBiker Studio. Today we compare just two bikes. We're gonna be looking at Specialized S-Works Tarmac road bike versus Specialized S-Works Venge road bike. I'm going to be looking at three things. Number one, which one is simply faster? Number two, which one of these two will suit you better in terms of the fit? And number three, which one gives you better components, because that matters. I will be comparing the model which costs $10,000 for the Tarmac and $9,500 for the Venge, so pretty much the same price. But if we look at the range of these bikes, there are more models for Tarmac bike, both carbon, different levels of carbon and alloy, and also the frame sets. And Venge will have only 5 models and 2 frame sets as well. So which one is faster? The Tarmac is the ultralight climbing bike, or just, I would say, just all-rounder road bike. And S-Works is the Aero bike, but I would also say all-rounder. Why all-rounder? Just in a second. But first off, I must tell you that I feel from all the bikes I've been testing Tarmac, but the previous model quite much, not the ViAS, Venge ViAS, but I have now the Merida Reactor, which is also the Aero bike, and I must tell you, you can feel you are riding a road bike on your speedometer. You will feel you are riding faster. Whereas if you have a couple of 100 grams lighter bike for maybe 2 hours ride on the climbs, I don't feel that much of a difference. So which one is faster? I would really say it is really rare when I'm pointing out one specific bike. I would say that the Aero Venge bike will be just overall, in general, faster than the Tarmac. Of course, if you're riding in the pack, it's different aerodynamically and so. But both the frame set and the wheel set of this bike, wheels are maybe even more important than the frame, will give you higher speed. When we just read the info about the frame, where was it? Right there. Specialized engineers say that in the wind tunnel, S-Works Venge will save you about 2 minutes over Tarmac SL5 on the 40 kilometers time trial. So this is time trial, but 2 minutes is a lot. So here we have different wheels, different frames. We cannot say that the S-Works Tarmac is not aerodynamic. It has this really little rear triangle, and it is most likely aerodynamically optimized, but S-Works, that's the Aero bike. So I would say S-Works Venge could pretty much be faster for most of the riders, okay? We're gonna talk about who would choose which bike at the end, but let's go to number 2, which is which one will suit you better in terms of the fit. And that's interesting thing. The Aero bikes have become less and less aggressive comparing to the so-called climbing bikes. If we look at the geo specs of both Tarmac and the Venge, we will see that stack and reach for 61, 58, 56 and 54 sizes. So these two dimensions, which tell you how far your handlebars will be and how high those will be, are pretty much identical. Let's say 56 frame size, stack 565, reach 395, and for Venge 564, 395. So it will be pretty much the same for these. Now this small and extra small frame set will have more millimeters of the difference, but most of the bikes are pretty much the same. So engineers now understand that putting us on the Aero bike in the very aggressive position will make us ride on the drops less time, just spend less time on the drops, so be less aero, and so there is not so much advantage of making more aggressive geometry for the Aero bike. So these are pretty much the same in terms of the geometry, so both would suit you in these terms. And then number 3, which one gives you better in terms of the components and technologies? Now just when we look at those lines, Tarmac is basically caliper brakes model. You can buy the comp model in disc version, but the highest models here are only caliper brakes. This will change very quickly, I think. Now Venge is basically the disc brakes model and has one caliper brake model. It's also because of the cable routing through the proprietary handlebar and stem, and so the disc brakes help with both power, your stopping power, and the aerodynamics, how the cables are being routed here. And I say that when we compare $10,000 Tarmac to $9,500 Venge, I am surprised that Venge is even cheaper, because here we've got the disc brakes. Okay, they don't have to be more expensive, but usually they are. Here we have also the Di2 components, just as the on S-Works, so these are just highest components. Also here we have a deeper section Aero wheels, which usually are more expensive. In this case, when we compare Roval wheels, so these are the CLX 32 on the Tarmac and CLX 64 disc on the Venge. The price for those wheel sets is exactly the same. That's exactly the same. I'm going to mention the weight just in a second, but so for Specialized, the price is the same, but in my opinion, it gives you more. And also the S-Works Venge has through axles, both front, so we can see through axle here and through axle there in the back, whereas Tarmac has just the standard quick releases. Here we understand that we've got the disc brakes, so for the super light weight frames and forks, it's good to have through axle even on the racing bike. This frame set has cut out for the rear wheel. For the front wheel is super Aero, and in my opinion it gives you more for the money. So I would really expect Venge to be more expensive on the same components comparing to the Tarmac. It's not like that. Now, engineers of Specialized have worked a lot on this frame. They've shaved 200 grams to the previous model, which is a lot. And so they've made fact 12R carbon here. The Venge is made of 11R. Carbon, so we can say less percentage of the high modulus carbon fibers on this frame. So who should choose which bike? I would say even if you are a climber but you want to be fast on the flat sections or on the downhills, the Venge will do it all. It has geometry which will be good both on climbs and descents, because it's same as the Tarmac, just as we said, and it won't be that much heavier. I think Specialized doesn't share the weight of this frame set, but I think this frame would be just about maybe a kilogram or so, and the Tarmac is sub 800, so let's say you've got 250 grams difference. That's not so much. Maybe the cockpit will be a little bit more heavy, and the wheels for sure, but wheels are wheels, you can just swap those. The wheels, the weight, CLX 32 on the Tarmac weigh 1280 grams, and these wheels will be about 350 grams heavier. So the wheels plus the frame set might be over, it will be over half a kilo, but with these super fast wheels. So in my opinion, everyone can be happy with Venge. And another thing is also, since this is the Aero bike, it can be very good for a triathletes who just want to have the road bike so that they can go for the group rides and train just every day and be quite fast on the triathlons. Of course, this won't be the choice for the Ironman champion, but you can be very fast on this bike. So this is not a triathlon bike, but as the Aero road bike, it will do more job even as this one, which we would call a climbing bike. In my opinion, it won't be that faster on the climbs as the Venge will be faster on just above, let's say 30-35 kilometers per hour. You will feel the difference of the frame set, seat post, the cockpit and the wheels. One thing about the Venge is the look. It looks awesome except for the cockpit, for example. That's my opinion, because they've made the negative 17 degree stamp so that it would be more aero, but then the handlebar must go up again for you, and it looks like this. So it pretty much looks like the endurance bike, but you cannot change the handlebars, because if you put some other handlebars, even if this is compatible, the stem would be compatible, it would be just too low for most of the riders. So this is something you just need to know as a buyer. The look is important for me, but otherwise, when you look at this bike, it looks pretty awesome. So that's it, guys. Let us know if you have the S-Works Venge or S-Works Tarmac, the newest one, how they ride, how they feel. You may also do the Your Bikes on E-SickBiker channel review of your bike. I'm gonna upload your video on my channel so that you can share all the info about your specialized bikes, and not only specialized, of course. Thanks for watching, and see you very, very soon. Bye bye.